As Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah delivered a speech, the skies over Beirut erupted with the deafening roar of jets flying at low altitude. The disturbance intensified the tension gripping Lebanon, marking an extraordinary escalation in the ongoing conflict. Nasrallah's address was overshadowed by the sudden intense noise, which he later described as an attack of unprecedented scale. In his speech, he declared that Lebanon was now in a state of war, triggered by Israel's provocative actions. The Hezbollah Secretary General condemned Israel for crossing all red lines, alleging that recent Israeli operations had directly endangered the lives of numerous Lebanese civilians. He pointed to the explosion of electronic devices as a deliberate act of aggression by Israel. According to Nasrallah, the timing of the Israeli strikes, coinciding with his speech, was a deliberate attempt to disrupt and intimidate. This new phase of the conflict has deepened fears of further escalation and highlighted the fragile security situation in Lebanon. As Nasrallah's rhetoric escalated, so did the violence. The Israeli Air Force's low-flying jets and the accompanying explosions have set a new precedent for the level of hostility in the region, leaving Lebanon grappling with the aftermath of what is being described as a historic assault. Meanwhile, the Israel Defense Forces reported that an unidentified aerial vehicle crossed into Israeli airspace from Lebanon near the community of Beit Hillel. The UAV caused a fire, but according to the IDF, there were no injuries and no fragments were found within the community area. In a related incident, an explosive UAV fell near Ya'ara. Although damage was minimal, no fragments were found, according to the IDF. Just a day after pager and radio explosions, the Israel Air Force, IAF, carried out strikes on Hezbollah infrastructure in southern Lebanon. Key sites such as Chaihin, Taibeh, and Kfar were hit, along with a Hezbollah weapons storage facility in Qiyam. IDF artillery also shelled various locations, with the military stating it will continue operations against Hezbollah to defend the State of Israel. On Wednesday, sirens sounded in Upper Galilee as approximately 20 projectiles were launched from Lebanon. Some were intercepted, while others landed in open areas, sparking a fire in Tel Hai. Earlier, 10 projectiles were fired into the Hermon Mountain area, all landing in uninhabited regions. The IDF responded by targeting Hezbollah positions, including a missile launcher and terrorist infrastructure in southern Lebanon. Amid growing security challenges, IDF Chief of General Staff Lieutenant General Herzi Halevi conducted a situational assessment at the Northern Command. Joined by members of the General Staff Forum, Halevi approved several offensive and defensive strategies aimed at countering the Hezbollah threat.
We are determined to create the security conditions that will return the residents to their homes with a high level of security, and we are prepared to do all that is required to achieve this.
Building upon the assessment, Halevi emphasized that Israel's army still has much more to accomplish amidst the ongoing conflict in Gaza, and that Hezbollah must pay a steep price at each stage.
We have achieved a lot, but there is still more ahead. Many of our capabilities remain unactivated, and each stage will exact a high price from Hezbollah.
The situation in northern Israel remains fluid as the IDF continues operations against Hezbollah, showing no signs of immediate de-escalation. Israeli officials remain resolute in their commitment to protect the northern border and are prepared to escalate if provocations persist.